What's happening, y'all? This is Mike D with Black Fathers Now, where we're bringing the village to the brothers. Every couple of weeks, you can look forward to a quick inspirational message or a thought-provoking guest with knowledge and wisdom, all geared towards helping you be the best father that you can be. We're bringing the village to you. Now it's your turn to do something with what you learned. All right, y'all. Let's go. We got a wrap. Oh, I'm sitting here laughing. But fellas, this is Mike T with Black Fathers Now. And welcome to the show. And dig this, man. We have a unique brother on the line that has a story, that has a journey. But he also has a cautionary tale for us to be aware of going forward. But this brother is none other than my frat brother. Deuce dog. Yes, sir. Yeah, Sterling Henton. They call him Sterl the Pearl. Originally from Passaic, New Jersey. Yeah. He actually from Passaic was a recruited athlete. He ended up matriculating to the University of Tennessee, where he played quarterback back in the 80s. Yes, prior to the number 16 that folks know. If you follow SEC football, Peyton Manning is kind of the number 16 that people realize. There was a number 16 prior to Peyton Manning, and that was who?
Sterl the Pearl,
Sterl the Pearl. Oh, but he came to UT, played football here. He made a lot of impact in the community, and then after that, he ended up playing in the Arena League and playing in Canada for a little bit. But then he also, from there, became a celebrity DJ. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. I mean, he's DJed all over the world, interacted with all kind of celebrities, and just thrown events. I mean, the brother got a journey. But then after that, actually very recently, he encountered a scenario due to his profile that is a cautionary tale for us to be mindful of. So we're going to jump into this, man. Fellas, the Black Fathers Now family, let's welcome my man, my frat brother, Sterl the Pearl.
Mike, what's up, babe? What's going on? What's happening?
What's happening, dog?
Yes, sir.
But, so we mentioned you're originally from Passaic, New Jersey.
Yes, sir.
Came to UT, became a celebrity DJ. Brother, walk us through your journey. And on top of that, you're a dad. I mean, you're a granddaughter.
Grandpapadopoulos, baby. I'm Grandpapadopoulos, baby, for sure.
I dig it. So walk us through this journey, man. Passaic, New Jersey to now. Take us through that journey, man.
Well, I was able to have the privilege of playing football at a time when my high school had an incredible football program with some incredible athletes. And I was a three-sport athlete in high school, ran track, played basketball, and I was all area, all county, and all state in all three. Mm-hmm. And but I was following people like Marshall Greers, Kevin Bryans, Craig, Ironhead, Haywood, who was my running back in high school. So, we just learned that, we rather win and get better versus getting better off a loss. So every time we played a game, we played to win.
That's right.
And hence giving me 3 state championships out of the 4 years I was in high school. So, then I got recruited, and University of Tennessee offered me a scholarship, which was probably wasn't my last choice because the recruiting process got on my nerves. I just wanted to win another state championship in basketball and be the first guy to win state championship in basketball, football, and track. And so we had a bye week that week. Coach Harris, Coach Gruden, and Coach Majors came to my house, and I had turned down a plethora of schools. My last visit on my last weekend, I had a couple of friends that came to the University of Tennessee from the New Jersey area and said how much fun they had. And I'd never been south before. The furthest south I've been was D.C.
Wow.
So, let's go south.
Let's try it.
And actually, it was interesting. I left home in a snowstorm.
Really?
So my flight was the last flight to get off the ground. And it connected in Pittsburgh. Now, back then, you were able to go down to the gates and meet all your friends, so on and so forth. So at that time, my high school running back and high school linebacker and fullback, Craig, Ironhead, Haywood, and his brother, Nate, were playing with Pitt.
Okay.
And so Coach Fazio, Coach Godfrey, North Turner, Ron Turner, all those on the Pitt staff back then, so they saw me going through the airport. Like, Sterl, we didn't know you were coming here. I said, I'm not. I'm on my way to Tennessee, So then they went. It's crazy. So it was a snowstorm in Pitt at the same time too. Okay. So, they said you ain't gonna make it out of here. I was just coming with us, I'm thinking to myself, they might be right. So with my mother, and it was one of the last flights to get off in Pittsburgh. Came down to Knoxville. To 70-degree weather in February. I never seen nothing like that.
It was a done deal.
Boom.
done.
It was
deal.
a done deal. I never seen 70-degree weather in February, so I knew nothing about the school and the tradition I come to know and love. So that's how they got me to Knoxville. Had fun playing ball at UT. Won 2 SEC championships, won 4 bowl games. Had a very brief pro career. Came back, got my degree, and stayed. Ended up getting my master's, and started my company. And so, I've been DJing since I was really 10 years old. Putting 2 record players together. So
right.
I should be a lot better than what I am right now. I'll be honest with you, but I still give you all I got, no matter where I'm at. And so the DJ thing took off for me, and man, I tell you, I love it. I love it. So I've had the pleasure of DJing, across the world. I've been to Europe, been to Asia, in the Caribbean, all over the United States, Vegas, LA, Miami, Atlanta. Had the privilege of DJing the I Dream of Nene second marriage with Greg Leaks and Nene Leaks. And I was a DJ in that deal, and made some incredible friends then. So I'm just privileged to be able to try to put smiles on people's faces for the couple of hours I got an opportunity to play records for them. Yeah.
And you said you started DJing when you were 10.
Yeah.
Right? And you're from Passaic, New Jersey. Now, where is that in retrospect to New York City?
I'm 15 minutes from downtown New York, Manhattan. I'm the next town over is my rival high school, well, Clifton. Then you got Patterson, and people might remember that movie Lean On Me.
Yep.
That's my rival high school.
Okay.
So, thanks to Joe Clark, we were able to get a couple of basketball and football games done back then, because I tell you, it's kind of hectic, and what an awesome job he did. So, and I was actually an epicenter of hip hop where it all started.
And that's where I wanted to go, because you said that you started when you were 10, and you came to college in what year?
86.
86, and so you basically talking like right around 1980-ish when you started DJing.
I was 77, 78, man.
Really? So,
yeah,
and
it's
you
my
in the
first
epicenter.
time. Yeah, I mean, I remember when people would sit around and just build ciphers and just start freestyle rhyming. I was in Hackensack in 2nd Street Park when members of the Sugar Hill Gang was doing their deal before they got signed to do Rapper's Delight. So I was at a lot of those battles when Kumo D and the Cold Crush brothers. I was there. Star Child. I bought a cassette from Kid Capri when he sold mixtapes on the corner by Willie Burgers in New York, outside the rooftop, which was a skating rink, but it was a club that everybody knew about going to the rooftop. That pretty much gave Dougie Fresh his fame.
Wow.
So I've been around, and I've been around it, been loving it ever since. And hey man, I'm just thankful to be able to be involved. And like I said, DJing has always been close to my heart. It was a time when I was young. My mother every week would take me downtown to buy one record, which was a 45 back then.
Okay.
And those 67 cents that my mother spent on me to get that record, it impacted our weekly budget, but she always rewarded me for getting good grades in school. So that was a motivation to make sure I got good grades. So I've been loving music since I was young, and now and I'm glad I can still do it right now.
It's amazing how you said the sacrifice that your mother made to get you that 45.
Yeah, man.
And that was when you were 10, 11, 12 years old.
Right.
Fast forward almost 40 years later, you're still doing that. Like, that was almost an investment, right?
In a real way, it was an investment. It was crazy because I got my first turntable when things were spun on turntables all the time. Now it's just an option to trade in a pair of shoes. And when the British Walkers were out, when Run DMC and them first walked out in them, so, I had got in fact, it was before Run DMC. You talking about, oh man, Fearless 4 and Grand Wizard Theodore and Grandmaster Flash and Furious 5 and those guys. So, before Run DMC, and I got a pair of British Walkers, a guy who had a turntable wanted to swap them for me, and I got my first turntable trading a pair of shoes in.
Wow.
And, but my mother we'd walk downtown. We didn't have a car, and she would go to a place called Record City in Passaic, which was a icon store that's unfortunately no longer there because of the way, record sales are now online and download whatever you need. But, they all knew me by name since I was 6 years old, 7 years old then.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
So athletics and music, and you had good grades, and you came to school, played ball, DJing always stayed in the back of your mind. And that's carried you for the next 3 decades, so to speak,
man.
after college. And in the midst of all of that, you're also a dad.
Yeah, man.
How did your journey, with music and sports, how did that impact you as a father?
Well, it's amazing you say that, Mike, because music always been a part of my life. And, you know, at one time I had an executive position with Warner Brothers as a marketing rep and for the Southeast. And my daughter was always with me. You know, when I had the, you know, staff video, she was with me. When I was on going to shows and, you know, making sure my artists did what they did, but it might have been a headliner there that I had nothing to do with, but she saw them then. And but the awesome thing about it, you know, music is also part of her life. And so I went into more of the administering music as far as DJing. She learned how to make music come alive. She always been a dancer. So she always loved to dance, and she danced in high school, danced in college at North Carolina A&T with Blue Rain and Golden Delight. And, you know, then she found herself, you know, dancing with Beyonce in the Super Bowl a couple years ago.
That's right. I forgot about that.
And she went on tour with August Alsina and Usher, and you know, I'm blessed to say the music is also a strong part of her life, and you know, it's in you. Now, you know, I tell her she got the dancing part from me, but she'll tell you she got it from my mother.
You know, it's interesting. It goes back to that notion of that 67-cent investment that your mom made has carried through to you, but then also your daughter with her dancing through college and dancing, you know, with Beyonce and August Alsina and all.
Yeah, man. I mean,
it's amazing.
So she's been in a plethora of videos, hip hop, some rock. I mean, you know, she's been in.
The seed was planted.
It was planted then, and
wow.
I'm just, you know, I'm thankful because I remember those days when, you know, 67 cent was a record cost at that time. Was I just remember because I used to try to save it up, do it, pay for it myself. You know, it was L.E.L., my mother, DJ L.E.B. as I call her, and but she made it happen for me.
That's
yeah,
bro. That's powerful.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, and fellas, I want you to think about that. You know, you think about small investments, small seeds that are planted now, how those things reap and are grown, and those are things that you can reap later in life. And sometimes it's not just for you, it's for your kids and for your kids' kids. You know what I'm saying? Just like little small things. That 67 cents. He remembers to this day how that 67 cents opened up the door to world travel and impact and putting smiles on people's face. But then on top of that, inspiring his daughter to go and pursue her career in dance and music. Powerful.
Yeah.
You know, and so what's interesting, having the profile that you've had and being able to grow and develop and, you know, exposure to a lot of different things, you know, exposure is a double-edged sword, right? You know, exposure is a double-edged sword. Like, you have some good exposures where it's great doors that are open, but then you also have some exposure to things that aren't so great.
Right.
And this thing kind of came to head very recently in your life. And fellas, you know, we don't like to harp on bad stuff. This is all about bringing the village to the brothers. But one of the things we like to also bring to light are scenarios that you can learn from. And Sterl has had the opportunity to do things and be exposed to things on the highest levels, but that also raised his profile, which made him a target for something that that happened very recently. And I'm gonna turn it over and let him kind of explain what happened very recently.
Well, I thought I was getting blessed with a business opportunity online, and unfortunately that ended up being a fraudulent situation. So it was one of them online scams, to be candid about it. I like to think of myself as a very intelligent individual, not the most intelligent out there, but still very intelligent. And I vetted the situation as best as I could for 2 months prior to depositing a counterfeit check. Now, in my mind, I'm figuring I'm going to take all precautionary measures as possible and make sure I did not take any money from the counterfeit check, not knowing it was counterfeit. So I deposited the check not knowing it was counterfeit, and into my own savings account also to make sure it was an account that anything not being right, it wouldn't be confused with me taking that money. So deposited the check, alerted the gentleman thought I was doing good business with, that I sent an email to him. I hope you started ethical and compliant business practices with me today. If you did, we will have a very fruitful future together.
That was your email.
That was my email to him.
Okay.
And then a couple of weeks passed, and the bank calls me and says the check was not right. It was counterfeit. And so immediately when I got that information, I pulled over to the side of the road, got my laptop out, sent an email to that gentleman 10 days later. I am very disappointed in you and your firm. You gave me your word as a man, and as your business practice being ethical, that the check was good. The check is a fake. I hope you get all that is coming to you and that you rightfully deserve. Do not contact me again. So I'm figuring I didn't take any money. The
And
bank,
this was after the check was already deposited into your account.
after it was deposited in my account, and the bank has
Notified you and said it was fraudulent.
It was fraudulent, and the bank had cleared some funds on the check, and I didn't want to take anything on the check that I knew was all the way clear because it's my first time doing business with this gentleman on this level. So here we go. We're moving on down. The bank calls me. I said, "Well, anything I can do to help, let me know." Then they get in touch with someone else. Anything I can do to help, let me know. Then authorities get my number. I said, anything I can do to help, let me know. And
hold on, take a step back. Like,
okay.
I guess help the brothers that are listening to understand, how did the check come? Like, what was the check for? Was it just somebody just sent you money, or?
The check came to fulfill a purchase order that I was supposed to fulfill once the check's cleared.
Okay.
It was a medical supply company and was buying medical supplies for hospitals.
Okay.
So I was supposed to, allegedly the check was supposed to have come from a hospital that needed to buy medical supplies to stock the hospital with supplies to help patients.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's how.
And you were just going to be the purchaser.
I was going to be the agent.
The agent to purchase the supplies.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
And that was how the whole transaction supposed to happen.
Okay, gotcha.
So, I guess they had another plan for me on the backside once the money cleared. I don't know, but I never got to that point. But what did happen is, subsequently, the officer called me. I misplaced his phone number and I didn't call him back. So I guess
the local officer.
Local officer.
Gotcha.
I didn't call him back. And so I guess he thought I might have been playing him off. I just simply misplaced his number. And I'm thinking I hadn't done anything wrong, so he'll give me a call back. Well, what happened was they put a warrant out for my arrest. I'm literally performing in front of 3,000 people when my pager starts going off. And my phone.
I was about to, we was about to jump on that. I'm like, dog, it's 2018 and you talking about your pager. I'm like, man, his whole story is false. You talking about you got a pager in 2018.
Well, I'm just saying that I got the vibration for the situation. Anyway, so my phone starts going off and I'm in front of 3,000 people, and I'm, as I said, after I finished my little performance and my thing on stage, I go backstage, I answer the call. I'm like, why is my phone ringing so much? So a friend of mine in Knoxville alerts me that it's a warrant for my arrest. I said, for what? And he explains it's for the counterfeit check situation. I said, well, I told them I wanted to help. How did I get a warrant? Sterl, they're charging you. For what? I mean, I didn't print the check. But you never, this is when, at the point I realized you never know who says what about you to investigating officers that fills holes to investigations that you know nothing about.
You have no clue.
No clue. So the only way I know I can get progress this situation forward is if I process the warrant. How do you process the warrant?
Turn yourself in.
Turn myself in, which becomes public record now.
There you go. And again, and fellas, we have to remember, celebrity DJ, played football at the University of Tennessee. We're in Knoxville, Tennessee.
It's not a DJ of the University of Tennessee football.
Yeah, he's an official DJ of the University of Tennessee football, all of that. So when something like this becomes public record, then all of a sudden the media comes, and then it becomes the front page of the news, and it's on every news channel, and it's all over the place that Sterl the Pearl was arrested. Fraudulent check. It was funny. He's even talking about it. I remember I was getting a text message from multiple people saying, "What's up with your boy Sterl? What's up with your boy Sterl?" I'm like, I don't know. Let me look at the news. I wasn't watching the news, and I turned the news on. And I was like, oh hell, please don't. So then I text Sterl. It was funny. I text him, and he was just like, "Dog, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right." And so, but anyway, pick up the story.
And so when it became public information, you get people that want to be a judge. And people didn't have the right to judge you based on the information that they have. Now,
that's big.
What's real is that's when I realized that I could not be a hypocrite. And I knew I did nothing wrong. I knew it was going to be an uphill battle, but I knew I could not be a hypocrite. I say this because I had the privilege of speaking to the graduating class of Austin East of 2018 this past
That's a high school here in Knoxville, Tennessee, Austin East High School.
Austin East High School. And I had the privilege of speaking to the Save Our Son Summit, which is a bunch of enterprising young men between the ages of 11 to 19 that, you know, the mayor has pushed an initiative to try to steer young African-American men away from the lure of the streets. And what I said to them was, and I said it twice, you're not in control of who or what tests your character, but you are 100% in control if you stay in character.
That's right. Pay attention to that, fellas.
So, and I've always taught my daughter to live your life clean as you possibly can, because you never know what investment into what people you are placing. And that return doesn't always come in money.
That's right. It's big. The return does not always come in money. Marinate on that. We always think about returns from a financial perspective, but we can invest in other things that also have returns in life. Be mindful of that. Be mindful of that.
And so now, you know, I'm going through the hot water, you know, and I got to make sure because being a hypocrite is just something I could never do. So speaking those words actually helped me, and knowing I had a daughter I had to make an example for, helped me. So now I got to go through the process, because now the media, you know, they're trained to push negativity.
Big time.
They're trained that way. And being who I am to a lot of people, it was a hot story. Front page of the paper, on every news station, social media, bananas. And what's incredible is a lot of people that know me, I don't know. So, and they don't know me. So that's the blessing and the sad side of knowing a lot of people and being associated with a lot of people. You know, I think I communicate with maybe, you know, no exaggeration, about 100,000 people a year, intimately. So if I communicate with that many people yearly, let's say it's just 10 to 20 people that they know they know me.
That changes it up. I'm going to tell you, this is a big thing. You know, people always say it's not what you know, but who you know, right? I add a step to that and say it's more importantly, who knows you. If you stop and you think about it, it's not what you know, but who you know. More importantly, who knows you. Michael Jordan walk in the room, everybody knows it's Michael Jordan. LeBron walk in, everybody knows it's LeBron. LeBron turns around and says, Mike and Sterl, what up? It's going to make everybody turn around because, yes, we all know who he is. How does he know you two? You see what I'm saying? And so to your point, that is kind of the blessing and the curse of that, in the sense that all these eyes were then on you. But the thing is, the eyes have always been on you, but they don't fully know you personally and intimately. They just know who you are, what you do, and kind of the image that you have. That's all they know. They just know a shell. They don't know the full you. So then they can all cast judgment, and you have all these things coming from different angles in a situation like this.
And because of this situation catching so much attention, I tried my best to return every text, every email that and phone call that I could, but it just got to be where I couldn't, but I was trying.
That's right. That's right.
And so I knew at the entire time I did nothing, but I knew it had to be a process before those holes of information that had my name on it that were filled on ongoing investigations in which I had nothing to do with, the information I had was able to extract that information they received that's false. That's a process. So how do you do that? You get you a good lawyer.
There you go. Step one, great lawyer.
You get a good lawyer. But my heart actually went out to everybody and everything, every person, place, or thing that I was attached to during that time, because they didn't deserve to go through that event with me. I think I was built for this, and for that type of event, because I've been blitzed literally. You know,
You know, on the field and off.
Exactly, I've been blitzed literally. So you know, I can handle it, and I know I've done nothing wrong. And how long this time of the process to be completed was also causing pain to those connected to me.
You said something there, and I think, fellas, this is a point to really point out. Remember, everything that we do, good or bad, especially as fathers, as black fathers, it's not only impacting us, it's impacting all of those that are attached to us. So when we make good decisions, they tend to reap the benefits. When we make bad decisions, they tend to reap the negative scenarios associated with that. And so even when it's a scenario in which that you're not responsible for, everything that impacts you also impacts your network and those attached to you, around you, and relying on you. So be mindful of that. This was a situation that he could not control because it was a scam. It was something negative. It was something that, you know, he was targeted. But even still, those connected to him were impacted by that and had to ride the storm with him. He was prepared for it, but everybody around him might not have necessarily been prepared for it. So I want you to be mindful of that when you have the ability to put yourself in certain situations, to realize that it's not just you, it's your family, it's your kids, it's your spouse, it's your community, it's all these people attached to you. Be mindful of that, for the good side and the bad side. Be mindful.
Absolutely. So with this situation, you know, now I get my information to my lawyer, and then I'm able to have we thought we were going to have an arraignment, and we passed the information to the authorities, and the authorities, you know, pushed off the arraignment, you know, 2, 3, 4 times for further investigation based on my information. And then I had a couple of interviews with the authorities, and we're talking about my situation getting pushed up all the way up to Secret Service.
Wow.
You know, so
all the different alphabet agencies, CIA, FBI, all that
all were there, and it pushed all the way up. And at the end of the day, because I was forthright and very transparent and very cooperative and very understanding of their situation, because they are still just humans having to do a job. Okay, so I was blessed in the fact that they were still zealous at their and showing an incredible amount of energy for my case while they did their job on other cases and made my case a priority. So although each day of my life during the ordeal felt like a month, it was only actually 5 weeks. Now, in my life, if you look at 5 weeks, it might be 36 days, 40 days, which if you put 40, 30 months on 36 days, 40 months, is 3 years plus, but it's actually only a little bit over a month.
But so
it felt like 3.5 years. But and with my heart so concerned about those that I am attached to, I was, you know, I was trying to get information as best I could out without crossing the line.
That's right.
And so, you know, a lot of things happened during that time that actually tested my character. But when I thought of my daughter, thought of friends and institutions, the University of Tennessee, my brothers of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity, mother, you know, you think what you have to do, and you think about what you think you want to do.
It's a difference.
It's a total difference. That's a 180. When you think what you have to do and what you think you want to do. Because you have to think about the greater good, even when something that might seem irrational is accepted.
That's real.
Follow what I'm saying? So when you put that in the pot and you stir it, and as the pot kept stirring, more meetings came with these agencies of investigations. I was with my lawyer, and we knew I did nothing wrong. And all of a sudden, they found out I did nothing wrong. Now watch this, which has happened as such as a minuscule amount of times in the history of our country, not just the state of Tennessee or the city of Knoxville. I've got a dismissal prior, total clear dismissal prior to the arraignment. Okay, and then I had a statement from the DA's office explaining why they dismissed my case. Now, you talking about some exotic things happening. I didn't want this narrative pushed because it was me. I wanted it pushed because I wanted people to see, if you did nothing wrong, it may not happen in your time,
but it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
You know, you said something there, and this is a quote that I heard. I forgot where I heard it, but it simply states, the truth is undefeated.
Every time.
The truth is undefeated. But now, the issue is, are we patient enough for it to play out? Right. The truth is always undefeated, But a lot of times we're just not patient enough for it to play out. Now, in your case, this is a blessing in the sense of, you're talking 5 weeks. There is a brother somewhere that this is 5 years or 15 years going on, or 25 or 30 or 50 years going on. For some, this thing might be generational. It's something that happened 120 years ago that still, the truth has not come out, right? That's hard. Yours was a blessing for sure. Yeah. And I think it's good for us to realize that the truth is undefeated. We have to be patient enough for it to play out. But the truth is undefeated. The truth is undefeated. We just have to be patient enough for it to play out.
And it won't lose. And when you have those moments of having, when the ways of the world can give you an idea of justifiable, irrational behavior, man, go do a push-up, go run a block, or do something. Just don't do that irrational thing. Because what happens is you compile your case and make it complicated. I had 6 people come to me, ask, I've never seen them before a day in my life, saying to me, Sterl, you're Sterl the Pearl, right? Can I borrow $95,000? Now, at that moment, you say to yourself,
they're trying to push buttons. They're pushing buttons.
They're pushing buttons. But once again, I had to remember I was not going to be hypocritical and come out of character.
And fellas, just a point of context, they asked for random people walked up to him asking for $95,000 because that was the amount of the check that was deposited. Right. So that's the thing that, just kind of giving some context there. 6 random guys, random different scenarios, totally different. We're testing his mettle.
Every day. And see, iron only sharpens iron. So I wasn't going to let some plastic sharpen me. Because I do think I'm iron. I might not be the sharpest iron out there, but I do think I'm iron. But just imagine if I'd done the understandable, irrational action of,
And reacted.
Now
what? Now they got some credence to maybe he is somewhat involved with this. Maybe there is something. Why did he blow up if he didn't do anything wrong?
Watch this. This when it gets incredibly sexy because, like I said, people in authority, they don't want to lose their job. They love their jobs. It's like people love to go play pro basketball. People that in high levels of authority, the Secret Service, the postmaster, the head of white collar crime, they love their jobs. They get paid well to do their job. So now you got a situation where you might have gotten dismissed from this, the criminal simulation charge. But I got a blatant assault charge.
So now you still caught up.
Now you see,
based on reaction,
and it's been other things that have happened that I can explain that would be understandable, irrational action. But at the end of the day, whatever you got to do to not do that irrational action, man, do it. And that goes with everything. It could not just this situation when it comes to law things. It might be a family situation. It might be a situation with one of you and your children where, as a man, at the end of the day, men cannot be reckless. It's just part of the way the world is and what we have to deal with. Men cannot be reckless. It's just part of the way in the world that we have to deal with that women can have babies and we can't. So it's certain things based on our agenda that we have to understand. A reckless man will always be penalized, and it's most of the time in front of the law. A lot of other times it could be in front of relationships that you fostered for your whole life, but one irrational, reckless motion can put that on the line and you lose that relationship. Because I do believe wealth is just for a few people, and it could be a lot more people that have the opportunity to be rich. Rich and wealth is 2 different things. They're 2 different things. Being rich, understanding your morals, understanding the respect for a person, understand the credence and character of which you want to live your life by, so people look up to you as a respectable person. That's richness. Wealth is measured in dollars. Now, it's a blessing to have wealthy people that are also rich, but they're very few. And it's just many few people that are wealthy that are rich. There are very few people that are rich that are wealthy. So therefore, when you have the opportunity to always maintain, man, do it. We're human. We're made to error. None of us are perfect, but we can definitely try to be. So when we have the sense in our mind to do something that might be acceptable, irrational behavior, do everything we can to prevent from doing it, and we will come out cleaner in the end. Because I tell you, when people throw dirt on you, it's easy to get clean when they throw dirt on you. But if you're living in the mud and they throw dirt on you, it makes it complicated.
That's right. Fellas, if you're clean and they throw dirt on you, it's easy to get clean because you know where the dirt lies. If you're dirty already and they throw dirt on you, you can't determine where that dirt came from. Fellas, wisdom from Sterling Henton, a.k.a. DJ Sterl the Pearl, a.k.a. Uzi Q.
Yes, sir, dog.
Man, fellas, I literally, man, I hope y'all take heed to the information and the wisdom that Sterl dropped, man. You know, talking about his life, his journey, but then also the challenge that he just recently dealt with. And this is very recent. Like, this is a challenge that he just recently dealt with, and it's come to light. And so just be mindful of that, man. Be mindful of not being reckless. Be mindful of making the right decisions, but also being mindful of the fact that the truth is undefeated.
Every time.
We just have to let it play out. Now, if the brothers wanted to connect with you, man, what's the best way to connect with DJ Sterl the Pearl?
Best way to get me is on Sterling Henton on Facebook, or Sterl the Pearl on Facebook, or Sterl the Pearl 16 on Twitter. Man, hit me up, man. It's all about making connections and building relationships. And I tell you what, the more we spread this pie, I mean, there's more slices of the pie to give out. And if we're giving out good things, man, there's more good we can spread across the planet, for real.
That's what it is. Y'all get at Sterl the Pearl. I have all his information in the show notes. And Sterl, I appreciate you, brother.
Hey, man.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. The Deuce Dog.
Deuce Dog in the house.
Yes, sir.
And so fellas, as always, visit blackfathersnow.com. This is brought to you by www.blackfamilyapparel.com. Grab some dope apparel that celebrates the nuances of the black family. Also grab a copy of my book, Dynamic Black Fatherhood Manifesto. 10 commitments to celebrate excellence in life, fatherhood, and just celebrating dynamic black men. Dynamic Black Fatherhood Manifesto. Grab a copy, Amazon. Grab it on blackfathersnow.com, or you can grab it on my website as well, IamMikeDorsey.com. And literally subscribe via iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartRadio. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, subscribe, share this, leave ratings. Let everybody know about Black Fathers Now. Let everybody know about DJ Sterl the Pearl. You probably seen him somewhere. I mean, if you haven't been out anywhere. And
hit me on my website, too.
Oh, what's your website?
Website, www.sterlthepearl.com. That's STERLTHEPEARL.com. Hit me up.
Hey, you got it. www.sterlthepearl.com. That'll be in the show notes as well. And, fellas, until next time, y'all be blessed, well, and wise. And I'll holler at you. Peace. Yo, fellas, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And always visit blackfathersnow.com, as well as follow Black Fathers Now on virtually every social media platform you can think of. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. Just follow us and engage with us, man. Look forward to hearing from you. And I guess until next time, I'll holler at you. Peace.